All right, after this level, we're cutting back over, and we gotta read some goodness. I have been sent a post that Lady Tetchy wanted to make sure that I got, that was cross-posted to the Hole Inspector subreddit. She wanted to make sure that we read it today. I believe it is the Gaycation related post. Oh my God. Wow. I'm scared. This is ongoing? Oh my God! My 35 female, husband's 34 male, dedication to Freemasonry is destroying our marriage and his life. How do I get this across to him? All right, here we go. Glossary of acronyms. MM is Master Mason. OES, Order of Eastern Star. WM, Worshipful Master. PM, Past Master. What? Original post, November 30th, 2024. Literally around the same time as Gaycation. Hi there, long-time reader, but first-time poster. The long and short of it is about 6 years now. My husband has been a Freemason, and I've always supported him on this. My grandfather was a Freemason, so it's not really new to me or anything, and I don't believe in any of the conspiracy crap you find online. But I'm starting to think it may not be the best for him. My grandpa always used to say it went family, work, masonry. But in my husband's case, it's more masonry, 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 then family, then work, then masonry again. He attends lodge nearly every night. For context, my grandpa would go a couple times a month, and yet he's only a fellow craft, so not a part of the add-on things like the Scottish Rite or Shriners or anything. I genuinely don't know how he has the stamina for it, because I'm a part of an improv theater club, and frankly, every other week is enough. Sometimes he's gone for hours, other times an hour or even less. When I ask him what he's doing, he gets defensive and says he can't tell me because he has to maintain secrecy. I don't trust like that. I knew full well there'd be some lessons and ceremonies I wouldn't exactly be getting a front row seat for, but I don't think it's that unfair to ask what he could be possibly doing that occupies him practically daily. Hell, some days when he comes back early, he goes to his man cave to do more work for them. Apparently he's volunteered to do admin work for his Grand Lodge, but like, when does it end? He doesn't get paid for any of this, and he spends so much on dues to actually do this. I've even tried to get involved via the OES, the Order of the Eastern Star, something I've always wanted to be a part of, but he point blank shut it down and said that we can only look into that when he becomes a Master Mason, which is apparently still years away. And it's not even just our marriage it's affecting. Some weeks he's out so late with his lodge buddies, he doesn't take care of himself. There's been times he hasn't worn clean clothes or shaved, and plenty of times he's gone into work without showering. Sometimes he doesn't even go into work and just calls in hours late to say he's been called for urgent lodge business. His boss is too good to him and lets it slide because he's genuinely blown away my husband's and the Masons and thinks these meetings must be dead important. Like, I get a lot of these guys are going to be retired, but Jesus Christ, surely they have to know how it works. It's making a bad impression with people, and I genuinely can't remember the last time we did a thing together as a couple. Plus, our bedroom has been dead for at least a year, which I've sort of put up with because I have a low libido, but I guess it's just another symptom. Oh, he fucking those Freemasons, huh? Bricks ain't the only thing these Masons are laying. I think they might be laying some pipe too. Every time I ask him to do anything, he just tells me he's too tired. How do I get it across to him? His Masonic life needs to slow down. I don't want him to leave the Masons, just maybe calm it down a little so we have our lives back. How can I get this across to him without seeming that I'm jealous of the secrets or I want to worsen the wedge between us? By the way, I did actually email the Worshipful Master at his lodge to say I'm kind of worried for him, but I've not heard back yet. And if they're all this active, I'm not sure how much help he'll be. Thanks for any advice. Edit. Worshipful Master just emailed me, apologized for taking his time, and explained my husband has not been a member of that lodge for at least 5 years, having left just under a year after he joined. Apparently he had difficulties with the leadership and had been repeatedly cautioned for soliciting the other lodge members. He told me he checked with other lodges in the area and none of them have any record of him switching, so it seems he demitted entirely. I have taken a look at his bank account and it always goes to something called Starfield Services, but I can't find any information on it, so I just assumed that's what the lodge uses to get their money. I googled it and it looks like it's encryption for websites. Really weird. From their website, our SSL certifications protect a single domain or multiple domain websites. We use strong SHA-2 and 2048-bit encryption that's virtually uncrackable. What SSL is according to Google. Secure Sockets Layer certificate is a digital file that verifies a website's identity and encrypts communication between a browser and a web server. SSL certificates are used to protect sensitive information like credit card numbers, addresses, and names from being intercepted by hackers. Also, usually an SSL certificate is pushed annually. Seems kind of weird. I wonder what he's doing on his devices. So far, not much, though I've spoken with a PM, past master, who was the senior warden around the time my husband left. He says he can't remember precisely what the soliciting involved, and it was never too explicitly, but it definitely came across as creepy and invasive, along with lots of weird questions about masculinity. He's going to come around tomorrow and we're going to discuss it with my husband then. Update December 4th, 2024. Hi everyone. You might remember this post where I mentioned how Freemasonry, or rather my husband's commitment to it, was destroying our marriage and corroding his life. Well, I apologized to the craft because Masonry had nothing to do with my husband's antics. In my update to the post, I mentioned I had spoken with the current Worshipful Master, basically the lodge's chair, and he informed me my husband had demitted from the lodge years ago and never joined any others. He did suggest it could be a clandestine lodge, and in a way I hoped this would be the case, but I think we both know that it was highly unlikely. He also ended up putting me through to a past master who was senior warden of the lodge around the time my husband quit, and apparently it was a jump before he push situation. I did mention my husband was in trouble for soliciting his brothers, but the Worshipful Master couldn't tell me any more. The past master vaguely remembered it, and while it seems no one was exactly sure what he was soliciting them about, it was described as invasive and strange behavior. Me and the past master, David, might as well use names, had a good long chat before he offered to join me in discussing this with my husband, Kevin, with the hope being we could get through to him and steer him off whatever course he was on. Sadly, I don't have good news. David came around on Monday and we talked a lot beforehand. Kevin was out, of course. Most of our chat was just him being genuinely supportive, but he did start asking questions that were definitely leading into the clandestine lodge route. He dropped that as a theory when the lack of self-care became evident. Midway through our conversation, Kevin comes home, and when he comes in, I say there's somebody I'd like him to meet, and he just deflects by saying he's tired from lodge and will have to do it tomorrow. David introduces himself anyway, explicitly as a past master. Kevin ignores him, but then goes through to the kitchen, pours himself a glass of milk, and starts scrolling through his phone at the kitchen table. We went through and sat down at the table too, so without a word, he got up, went into the living room, so we followed him there, where David said, "We know he's not attending lodge because he was the senior warden when my husband left." Kevin does this weird laugh and says, "So it's a crime to move lodges then?" David says no other lodge in the area took him on, and Kevin goes a little bit red before saying that's because he switched to PHA, and then sort of insinuates David is racist for taking issues with that. David says he spoke to all the PHA lodges in the area too, and he's good friends with a lot of their members, so he knows he's lying again. Ow! Ow! Oh, get caught! Get caught! Kevin just says, look, he's tired. He's not doing this, but I told him we know something's up. And well, the majority of you thought it was drugs. So I just said, look, is it drugs? He said no, but finally admitted yes, there was something up and asked if he could show us something. Just he needed to go to his car. David said, that's fine. We'll come with him. Well, I guess in Kevin's defense, he did need to go to his car. In the trunk, he got out this black sports bag, and I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't think anything could have prepared me for what was inside. When we go back into the house, he got out this near lifelike latex horse mask and other leather and latex fetish gear. Full suit with harnesses and everything. If you were expecting anything to happen, there wasn't anything. We kind of just stared in total silence. Eventually, Kevin restarted the conversation by explaining he was into a BDSM fetish called pony play and that he went down the rabbit hole a long time ago. I won't really go into the full details, but long and short is he's clearly been dealing with homosexual feelings and submissive desires for a long time, though he's still in denial about both of them and is adamant he's not bi or gay, 100% straight, etc. No! It's Gaycation 2! Ponycation! You must neigh or be destroyed! Obviously, he's at least and most probably bi, but he wouldn't hear it. Anyway, he explained when he was really struggling with these feelings, the urge, he calls it. That's when he joined Freemasonry because he'd hoped it would prove a distraction, help improve its... I've been having these urges. So to distract myself, I joined an all-boys club. The oldest boy club with a strict rule for obedience. I stopped too soon. And then sort of implied being around old men would put him off guys. I figured if I joined a boy club with a bunch of old guys, then I wouldn't be attracted to men anymore. Right? Nope. Now I want them to ride me while I'm dressed as a horse. Uh-oh. I could tell David was a bit offended, but he didn't say anything. But yeah, apparently this is what the soliciting was about. Obviously, joining the Masons didn't make the feelings go away. So he said he initially started trying to see if any of them felt those feelings too, but no one would bite. Apparently, midway through, he discovered the pony play rabbit hole on a BDSM website and was utterly hooked. This is when his soliciting went from, hey, I'm having these weird feelings towards guys. This is totally normal, right, brother? To, hey, are you looking to buy a pony, brother? He claimed he didn't leave because he was being disciplined, but because of how goddamn prudish everyone was. Apparently, he was already deep into the hole, and while he'd been attending lodge a couple of times a month legitimately, the other times were him doing BDSM stuff. Apparently, it began with escorts, but eventually he graduated to pro doms because too many of them found it weird or weren't into it enough. There's one main one he goes to the most called Mistress Candy, but when she's busy, he'll go to other ones. And if that's not an option, he'll go find a cheap hotel to self-care or do it with an online mistress. There's a lot of them apparently, and that was how he got into findoms, where the whole thing is he gives them money for nothing in return. I don't really know how to describe how I felt when this all came out. The shock, the betrayal, the rage, the upset, the hurt. I suppose I feel quite numb now, but none of it could have prepared me for what he did next. That's not it. That's not all of it. There's more. David said, so you've been having an affair and then using the craft as cover. Kevin got very angry and said he's not been having an affair. This sparked an argument, again, won't go into details, where Kevin's excuse was that at no point was he in control. At no point was he in control during this because Mistress Candy made use of hypnosis, to control him, and sometimes the urge was so powerful it would shift him into Sparkles, his pony persona, involuntarily. He didn't use this as an example, but I guess it's kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation. Again, no remorse or contrition, and he said we can still fix this with couples therapy because apparently I wasn't satisfying his needs. How did he come to that conclusion? Well, I never independently suggested pony play and give him an avenue to open up about it. This is somehow my fault. I won't go into the arguments that followed, but it ended with me packing a bag and David taking me to my parents' place. I've told Kevin I'll be seeking a divorce, something which he's also in denial about because the marriage is dead. Clearly, he values his time playing dress up as a horse more than he does me as a person, so I might as well let him focus on that. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde! No! No! I'm staying with my parents right now and taking some time off of work until I can clear my head. Can't sleep, so I figured I might as well try and get this out of my system. It has helped, honestly. I'm also currently no contact with Kevin, and I'll be staying that way until I can serve him papers. Who knows what the future holds, but he won't be in it. So if you wanted some good news, I'm finally joining the OES. David explained to me I can join via my grandfather, so I'm going to be meeting with the secretary next week. Thanks for being on this wild ride and helping me see reason. I guess I would probably have got here anyway when the worshipful master messaged me, but it was nice to know I had people on here, and especially those who talked it through with me in the DMs. You guys know who you are. You are awesome. Otherwise, have a great day and peace out. They're deluded and in denial about it, and in the same breath, they know they have something to feel guilty about because they keep hiding it. So deep down, they do know, but they're in such denial, and they don't want to lose their like carefully curated life. I don't know. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. She's protecting his bed. Well. It seems you haven't been protecting enough. Oh, welcome to Yorktown, population my bean. Anyway, dude.